Hi everybody, today we're making macaroni and cheese. Now, this lovely stuff in the box is lovely once in a while, but we're gonna teach you how easy it is to make macaroni and cheese from scratch. When you're making your macaroni and cheese, you typically are gonna boil your pasta in one pot, and then you're gonna make in a separate pot a cheese sauce, which is a roux, which we learned how to make, which is equal parts fat and flour, and then you would add milk to that, making a bechamel sauce. You would add cheese to that, and that becomes a cheese sauce, and then you would add those two together. We're gonna do it slightly different. We're going to cook our pasta in some evaporated milk, and evaporated milk is just milk that has half of the water as the milk you would get in a normal gallon. Okay. And I'm using evaporated milk because it's less likely to curdle than the milk that you would get in a gallon container. Now, this is cavatappi pasta, and I like it because it kind of looks like a little corkscrew, okay? And it has ridges to it, which I like because all of those little holes and ridges is gonna get all of my cheese sauce caught in all of those little crevices. So once that comes to a boil, we're gonna add that. We are going to add two types of cheese today. One is American cheese, and this is just American cheese that I got from the deli, and I grated it so that it would melt slower, okay? It has a little bit more moisture. It melts really well, but it doesn't have a lot of flavor. For that reason, we actually shredded a little bit of cheddar cheese, which has less moisture, but it has more on the flavor scale. And this is a stove-top macaroni and cheese. So we are going to top it with some panko breadcrumbs that we season in butter. And then we're also gonna add a little bit, this is just dried mustard, and it's gonna give it a little bit of flavor. And dried mustard has a natural ingredient called lecithin in it that helps bind things, kind of like eggs do. So while we're waiting for our water to get to temperature, this is just half of a stick, so it's a 1/4 cup of butter. We're gonna melt that. And sometimes my stove makes a little clicking sound, so we are going to continue with our cooking sound. And it's gonna give us a nice little beat. All right, so my butter is almost melted. Now I'm gonna add my breadcrumbs, and these are panko breadcrumbs, which means the breadcrumb is actually a little bit larger than your regular like Italian style breadcrumbs that you would see at the grocery store. And I'm going to just coat those, and it's gonna stay on low while we add our pasta to the pot and that boils. All right, so my water and my milk has boiled. I'm gonna add my pasta, and it's gonna boil until it's about al dente. And whenever you add pasta to your liquid, you always wanna give your pasta a stir. Okay, I did not add salt, and I'm only gonna add the salt at the end just because of the cheese is so salty. I don't wanna over salt it. All right, so this is gonna boil again for 6 to 8 minutes. And we will come back in about 6 minutes. All right, so we have been stirring our macaronis in our liquid all along, and as we're doing that, the starches are releasing and it's thickening our sauce, as well as the evaporated milk is also reducing, which causes our liquid to get thicker. All right, so we used evaporated milk. You could use lactate milk. You could use soy milk. And also when it comes to the pasta, you could also use regular milk. This is a wheat pasta, but there are some really great gluten-free pastas out on the market. So if you wanted, you could use a gluten-free pasta. All right, so we are almost there. I'm just gonna lower my heat and I'm gonna pull it off the heat actually. All right, so I'm gonna add a half teaspoon of ground mustard, and that's gonna give it a little bit of flavor. Now for heat, some people can put in some black pepper. I'm just gonna put in a few drops of hot sauce to give it a little tang. And then I'm gonna start with my American cheese. And I'm gonna let that melt. So you're letting your cheese melt in stages, if you will. All right. If you wanted a little bit more color, you could add a little paprika. If you wanted a little bit of garlic flavor, you could have added some garlic or some onion powder. And because the cheese was grated, it is melting really nicely. All right, so this has all been incorporated. So now I'm gonna add my cheddar. And my heat's on really, really low. Now when it comes to topping macaroni and cheese, you can top it with whatever you want, okay? Some people wanna top it with bacon, and you certainly could do that. Okay, these are our breadcrumbs that I've been stirring. So they're nice and golden. And we're gonna use that to top our macaroni and cheese. And if you wanted this a little bit thicker, you could actually add a little bit of cream cheese. If you wanted it to have a little bit more of a golden color, you could also add a little bit of egg yolk to thicken it, okay? And that'll also kind of help emulsify everything in. Or you could also use different cheeses in here, okay? I used American and cheddar, but you could use a Colby Jack, you could use a pepper jack, you could use, there's a really nice like orange cheese out of Oregon called Tillamook that you could use, and that'll give you like a slightly more orangey color. All right, so this is a beautiful consistency. We are gonna go with that. And back here, I actually have some peas. I love peas in my mac and cheese. I know a lot of people aren't very pro-green, but I absolutely am. I love my vegetables. So I'm gonna put some peas in there. And we're going to taste it. I definitely don't think it needs salt. I am going to give it a little bit more hot sauce just because I like it spicy. And then I'll top it with a little bit of breadcrumbs. All right, so that's my bowl. We're going to save the rest for the rest of the family. So you have a beautiful day. I love you all.